As April melds into May, the boys of spring have much on their minds. For the seniors, the end of their elementary education is approaching, and the real world awaits. Some will go to college, but many will be looking for full-time work. The world still remains ominous outside the doors of Teaneck High, and the news of the day is a mix of anxious moments and optimistic reminders of what awaits them. Adolf Hitler formally rejected FDR's call for peace, and Poland has begun amassing troops on the border. The president will address the nation on Sunday, April 30th at the opening of the New York World's Fair, but he is not expected to comment about Germany's aggression, continuing his stance on trying to keep America out of the conflict. As a side note for those fans of The Clash, England announced it would introduce conscription. Closer to home, it was announced that Hills Brothers purchased a 6-acre tract in Edgewater where they plan to build a large coffee plant, bringing hundreds of jobs to the area. And Powell Crosley Jr. announced the introduction of a new 2-cylinder automobile to be displayed at the World's Fair. It promised speeds up to 50 miles per hour and 50 miles to the gallon. Crosley dealers would begin selling the 4-door convertible sedans for $350. In the major leagues, all the discussion was what the Yankees were going to do about Lou Gehrig, whose performance so far this season has been nowhere near his usual dominance. Calls to bench the Iron Horse so far have been met with fierce resistance by manager Joe McCarthy, who continues to defend his slugger. Closer to home, the Newark Athletic Club will be honoring all-star pitcher Johnny Vandermeer this week as the best pro athlete from New Jersey of 1938. The Reds are in town, and the former Midland Park star famously tossed back-to-back no-hitters last season, including the second one against the Brooklyn Dodgers in the first night game ever played at Crosley Field in Cincinnati. Closer to home, all the Bergen County ball clubs have been jousting for position in the league standings. Action began with the showdown between first-place Hackensack taking on Leonia. Coach Pat DeCenzo had held his ace Danny Dawson out of the Teaneck game in anticipation of the matchup with Leonia, who had a much more potent offensive team. Unfortunately for the Comets, Dawson was declared ineligible as he had missed school that day to visit the dentist for an emergency tooth extraction. Hackensack threw 4 hurlers in place of Dawson as he looked on from the bench, but it was not enough to stem the powerful Leonia bats, and they came away with an 8-6 upset victory and possession of first place. Ace Rudy Jaeger struck out 7 and walked 4, but the Leonia bats and 6 Comet errors provided the cushion. The victory had coach Herb Turkington declaring that if another hurler could step up and match Jaeger's effectiveness, his Lions had the bats and the gloves to take the league crown. Dutch Hilderhoff, who had beaten Tenafly last week, will get the chance to prove it in the Lions' next game against Teaneck. Meanwhile, early season surprise Tenafly was expected to defeat a struggling Englewood squad, but coach Jim Kirkland's Maroon found their form, and ace Steve Biankowski led them to a 5-4 victory with a complete Game 4 hitter and a triple in the 5th when he was driven home with the winning run on a double by Ray Steinbacher. Dawson's diversion to the dentist set up a showdown with Ridgefield Park ace Al Deuce. The Scarlet lineup was no match for Dawson, however, as he fanned 17 batters and gave up only 5 hits. Deuce struck out 10, but he walked 7, and the Comet bats collected 10 hits en route to a 10-4 win. The big news off the field was the announcement by Principal Dr. Robert Burns that no additional home games would be played at Cliffside Park High School. Englewood skipper Jim Kirkland led the protest, and the decision was supported by both the Cliffside Park baseball coach and athletic director. The announcement made clear that the ban was not a result of the actions of the Cliffside athletes, rather the unsportsmanlike conduct of the fans, including standing too close to the field, leaving bicycles in the field of play, hurling dirt and gravel at opposing players, and the theft of team equipment. Cliffside fans' reputation preceded the ban, as several minor riots had broken out at both football and basketball games at the school, and Englewood had even petitioned the league previously to expel Cliffside from the NNJIL after fans pelted the Englewood bus with rotten fruit and then subsequently started a riot in the next contest against Teaneck. Even senior record writer Al Del Greco observed in his daily column at Random in Sportdom that the Roughnecks who have adopted the teams are a foul-mouthed lot and a disturbing influence to the players and officials. He lamented that since you can't reason with a mob, and the rowdies following the team around now are impossible, that Cliffside acted wisely in implementing the ban. Fans would have to wait and see what kind of impact the league's decision would have on the field.